two in the box, ready to go. We be fast, they be slow. Today on Buster Quest. Hey everybody, welcome on back to the AnKorage where everything is awesome and it's on its way. It's coming. It's gonna be here soon. It's two in the box from Hasbro, Haslab. So this is the PKE meter and the ghost trap. So those guys right there, Ghostbusters, straight down below. You got the Moogly No Ghost logo. So there we go. Isn't that cute? So yeah, it's on its way. So I wanted to just kind of get a little bit of what was going on, and you know, of course, updates out to the public have been minuscule, and they've been very seldom. They haven't come out all that often, as expected with these Haslab crowdfunding projects that Hasbro does, that Haslab does. For their high-end toys, and this is no different. So what I wanted to do is just cover up my, or not cover up, but you know, cover my desires, expectations, both as of myself and as of a collector. Not so much to speak for the collectors, but I know that some might be really picky about it and they want to cover it and things of that sort, and what their expectations are and stuff like that. Now this is a toy first and foremost. It's being produced by Hasbro, so therefore it is first and foremost a toy. Now, being from Haslab or from the Hasbro Pulse group, this is the upper end quality of their toys. Can we say high end? Possibly. I can't say for sure. However, they are essentially taking the time to try to get things good, really good. And as we can see from right back here, I've got my Proton Pack, which I got from Haslab a couple years back. And of course, I had it at the beginning of season 24, and I had it by... Oh, it was delivered on the 17th of January of 23. So I've had this for coming up on 2 years now. And as you can see, as we're in the Halloween season, we've got a couple of mini puffs hanging off it. I want to grab one real quick and show you. And I grabbed one, and here it is. This is a mini puff. So if I can hold it right. It's got a little bit of a googly face head on there. And yeah, these are 1-to-1 scale, and I got 3 of these with the Proton Pack. And because it's Halloween, I only bring these out during the Halloween season. So it came with 3, and I'm letting Freya, it's a call sign from my coworker over in the condo office, borrow one. She's got it on her desk right in front of her monitor, and I told her I would go back and grab it after the holiday is over. So all right, so I'm gonna put you aside, and so let's get into this. We've got the PKE meter and we've got the ghost trap itself. So I've got 3 things I want to be showing here. So if we take a look at it, we are in my Disroot Cloud instance for Nest Cloud, and I'm on my Notes application, which is this guy right here. And you know, this is what I use for my tracking of all of my videos, and I put important notes and stuff in here when I need to. Of course, you can tell from this is from August. So this is 2 in the box right here. So I've got the PKE meter, the trap, and a general. So I'll start with the general section. Sound effects, fresh and unique. So a lot of these sound effects are actually provided by Sony or Ghost Core, and you know, they are the actual sound effects that are used in the films. And there are more than likely a few sounds or sound effects that Hasbro actually had to take the liberty of creating themselves and everything like that. But they did that under the watchful eye of Ghost Corps / Sony, and for their approval to go ahead and use it. So there we go. Weathering. And I've got here, put on and take back. Okay, so this is just in reference to Adam Savage, former Mythbuster, and he's on the Tested channel. And, you know, he described it perfectly on proper weathering of things. What you do is, you know, you take your weathering, let's say you dry brush. Okay, so how do you dry brush? You know, I won't go into the full thing of it, but you basically blab a daub of paint on there, however which way you want, and then you take it back. You kind of wipe it off a little bit to leave a little bit of evidence of that paint stroke. So that's what we kind of expect on there. We will get weathering on it, but will it be taken back? Knowing Hasbro, we won't. But hopes. So that's in that. So let's talk about the PKE meter. The PKE wings to be narrower and metal. Now this is because on the prototype, the wings for the PKE meter are about, they look like they're a centimeter or a hair more wide. And that just screams, hey, I'm a toy. I'm really a toy. Now we've got assurances from Emily that these will be narrower. And at the last update that we had, which was over the summer, I think, well, when they had their Q&A, which was last December, that they are going to be narrower. However, on Ghostbusters Day, I saw another video. I forget the name of the gentleman that put it together, but he actually had Hasbro's PKE meter and then the actual movie prop in his hands, and he had two shots, and the Hasbro one shows the wider wings, and of course you got the movie prop and it shows the wings are narrower. And yeah, so people will be expecting those wings to be the exact same width as the movie prop, as do I. Will I get it? I can't say. So hopes. And I put on here metal. So that's a little extra thing for me. Thinking about the collectors out there and stuff like that, they want something, or they may very well want something to be as close to an actual prop replica as possible. And part of trying to achieve that is to have the PKE meter wings to be made out of metal and not plastic. So that's that item. Next one down, PKE taser mode should snap with no bounce. So this is where, you know, on the back of the PKE meter, because this meter is the afterlife meter, and it has a trigger on the back that you pull to enable taser mode. And what taser mode does is it takes the PKE meter wings and it snaps them completely vertical. And in the movie prop, you know, it snaps and it solidly snaps into place, and there's no bounce of the wings. And so far in every clip that I've seen from Hasbro, excuse me, those wings bounce when that trigger gets pulled. Yeah, so on the final product, we're expecting those to not bounce. Excuse me. LEDs do blink randomly, as I have seen. So in the initial clips that we've seen, you see all the lights on the PKE meter wings go in sequence, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. I have seen in the movie prop, when the lights are blinking, they are very random. And I have seen in clips that they actually achieved that. They are random, so that's really good. PKE meter holster material, not pleather. All right, so yeah, we want, you know, the folks that want an actual prop replica, they want actual authentic materials, as do I, but I understand. You know, people don't want pleather, they want actual leather. So to those folks, if you want actual leather, you're going to have to take this thing apart, you know, trace it out, and create, just, cut out your own, and bolt it together, rivet it together, things of that sort. And of course, this is Hasbro, toy company. They're going to use pleather. My expectation is that, okay, it's going to be pleather. It's going to be their high end. They've used it before, stuff like that. I've never seen this stuff. So I would like something that's got a good thickness, that's got good durability, and is going to last and not wear out. That it actually mimics the behavior of leather from constant use. That's my expectation, and I think that would probably be some other people's expectation, but we'll see what we get. All right, so the EMF detection details. Okay, yeah, the PKE meter is going to be an EMF detector capable. So, will it actually pick up actual EMF signals? Yeah, it will. To what degree? I don't know. And of course, everything regarding Hasbro's legal and stuff like that is like, it's you don't want to use it to do the wiring in your home, things of that sort. Yeah, you don't want to do that. This is just a fun little function and stuff like that. You may get some actual responses from it, but it will actually behave like the movie prop in the films. If it picks something up, the wings go up, the things go faster, and maybe even the sound effects will actually pick up too. That's what I would expect, but we're going to see what we get. The PKE display stand plastic. Yeah, this is where, when we looked at the material for the proton thrower, it's really flimsy plastic. It could snap. I mean, it is kind of rugged, stuff like that, but it bends like nothing. It bends like a twist tie, and that may be only my opinion of it. However, it's pretty much the norm. And for the display stand for the PKE, we would expect a very stiff plastic, namely the same plastic material that was used in the display stand for the proton pack, because when you put that thing together, you're not taking it apart. I've got mine. I'm not even going to put it together because I can't take it apart. And I would want something I can take apart. It snaps together, and that's great and everything, but once it's together, it's not ending. It's not coming apart. So the display stand should be that same plastic as on the proton pack stand. I'm in the market to try to find one out on eBay, an original. I'll pay up to $30 for a proton pack display stand. So it got to be reasonable. They got to get a little something, but reasonable on the cost. It wouldn't cost more than $30 in my eyes, my opinion, my beliefs. So that's the PKE meter. The trap doors should snap open and shut with no delay. In other words, that's when I was talking about solenoids. Using a solenoid. Well, we're not getting solenoids, we're getting motors. And that's fine, but they have to be quick. So I'm expecting a quick open and a quick shut with, no delays necessarily. Or very short delays, because, when you're trying to trap something, you want to trap it. You want it. And there you go. The trap pedals should be reinforced to allow stomping. Well, we're more than likely not going to get that. Because they have said over and over and over again, do not stomp on the pedal because this is a toy, and if you do, you're gonna have a bad time. Well, Jason said the bad time part, but Jason at Ghostbusters News. So that what that allows though is that allows the modders and stuff like that to create a stompable modification for reinforcement for the pedal. And I have no doubts that someone's going to do that. And you'll probably see it out on Etsy and probably out on eBay as well. So I'll be keeping an eye out for that stuff. So, okay. The Spectre Selector. Now, that is just kind of like a kitschy behind the scenes name, stuff like that. It's I've seen it, and the Spectre Selector is basically it's a rotating knob on the side of the trap, and you just click it each time. It's got a number of clicks, and each time you click it, you get a different sound of a ghost that is from the Ghostbusters franchise. Those sounds, from what I've seen and heard, are from the actual Ghost Core library. So, and there might be one or two that Hasbro had to create and stuff like that. Now, since I'm a fan of the original Ghostbusters film in 1984, I'm going to switch mine over to Slimer, and that's the end of that. So, I'm not going to pay attention to anything regarding Ghostbusters 2 or anything like that. Ghostbusters 2, as they said in Frozen Empire, the Statue of Liberty debacle of 1989. Hence, Ghostbusters 2, which I think was a debacle in and of itself. Cute, but they try to be funny, and it totally shows, and I don't like it. I won't watch it. I have it, but I don't watch it. The Trap Docking Station. Now, that thing is really good, and I'm very happy that we're getting an actual docking station automatic with the base price. But, of course, we've met all the stretch goals, so we're getting it regardless. We even met the unannounced stretch goal, so we're getting that stuff, too. I'll talk about that when it arrives. Sound rails. 2 sets of sound rails. You got 2 red ones and 2 silver ones. The red ones are for, let's see, as of today, and the chronology of everything, it's for the Ghostbusters 1 trap, and also it is for Afterlife, and it is for Frozen Empire. They stuck with the red for the last 2 films. Good going, guys. The silver ones are for Ghostbusters 2. You could switch these out, and you just pull them off and just throw on the other rails, and it unlocks the sound effects for that film. I am not a fan of Ghostbusters 2, as I've said, and therefore I will not be using those. They will stay in the box. So there we go. Pedal relay switch, all metal. Now this is something where we've got a little bit of what we want. The relay switch. This is that translucent little box thing that in the first film it basically stood up, pointing up, and it was a little bit opaque and whatnot, translucent, and you could see through it, but you could see that it was kind of like a yellowish tinge to it, and that's what we were initially going to be getting, stuff like that. But then I saw later on that it is absolutely clear plastic, and it's like, nah. It is what it is. So, the actual relay interior, the insides, I had mentioned that those should actually be metal. And Emily said that they're metal. And I'm like, all right, awesome. That's really good. Trap pedal resistance. Okay, so the trap pedal resistance, that is, that's going to be a little tricky because we've had a couple of different pedal styles in the films, where it was just a hinged piece at the base, and in Frozen Empire we saw that there is an actual spring type thing under the actual pedal itself, between the pedal and the actual pedal base. So we're going to be getting that style, and the resistance on it. In other words, we want to be able to feel that we're actually pushing down on it, that it's just not a free swinging piece of garbage. We want something that's got a little bit of tension on it that we can feel when we push down on the pedal. So that's what we've got going on there. Okay, so like I was saying, it's on its way. So a couple of days ago, all of the backers received an email from Hasbro Pulse, and to basically tell them, hey, it's on its way. So it is on its way, at least, on the boat from China to Chino. Yes, I know, it's actually Chino, but, China, the A and the O. Hello? Do you think there's something done on purpose here? Yeah. So, But the email, and I'll actually show it to you here real quick. So why don't we take a look at it? So we got the Hasbro Pulse. There it is. And basically, the Ghostbusters trap is coming. So our teams are preparing to ship the Plasma Series Haslab 2 in the box. So that's the trap and the PKE meter. So stuff like that. So backers have until the end of the day of Monday, November 18th, to update your shipping address, should it be necessary, through Hasbro Pulse itself, the actual website, stuff like that. So that's pretty telling in and of itself right there. So it's on its way. It's coming. So I'm going to get that. I'm going to get that. And I'm going to switch it back. And there we are. So sorry, just talking, just thinking out loud. My steps on getting this back and everything like that. So it's on its way. Now, Jason over at Ghostbusters News was saying that this, this email was kind of like stuff like that. And he's basically saying that people should have them by the end of November. Okay, it's possible. Would we like it sooner? Absolutely. Of course. We paid for this a year ago. It was a year ago this month. So, yeah, of course, we want it. We want it. But we have to wait, because logistics. We have to be patient, people. You'll have it soon enough. Now, everybody was a lot of people. I can't say everybody, but I was hoping that my prophecy was that we would be receiving these things by Halloween because it makes sense. The timing makes sense. We're in October. Halloween is like in a week, and week and a half, right around there. And, we would very much like to have these things to go when those of us who have our flight suits and everything like that, we'd love to have it so we can hang it off of our belts, myself included. I actually have a flight suit. I actually got a name tag made up, and I've got that on there, and I've got a ghost patch, and I've got it on the shoulder. And I'm going to be using it for an event here at the condo complex. I'm providing music essentially up at where we're gonna have our little event. We call it the Trunk or Treat, Treat or Trunk. So it's Trunk or Treat, but I'm calling it the Treat or Trunk. It made Freya laugh, so awesome for me. I'm funny, but in either sense, I'm gonna be doing that, and I'm gonna be having my flight suit on. I'm gonna be bringing this thing up, and and I'm going to have it on display, and it's being used as a demonstration model as a Ghostbuster. And I would love to be able to demonstrate not only this thing, but the trap and the PKE meter, and it is very much looking like that is not going to happen. And here's why. All right. So the manufacturer is over in China. So these are basically Chinese products. They were made there. They're theirs. Under the guidance of folks over here. So, and it takes X amount of time to arrive on the boat from China to California. And they get sent into a warehouse there to be prepared for shipping out to all the backers, and that's Hasbro. So they've got a warehouse in Chino. So, and then it goes up from there. I'm in southern New Hampshire, and of course nothing is gone by air delivery or anything like that. They always send it out on the trucks. Because it's cheaper. Okay. So a truck from Chino to here they can get here in 5 days. And here's why. This thing came across in 5 days. And, however, it stopped short it got to Connecticut. It got to the warehouse in Connecticut, and it sat there for 3 days. So the driver and his partner or whatever, they just went like crazy across the country, and they got across really quick. So of course, they got more pay because they're really fast about it. All right, cool, awesome, very good. However, it sat in Connecticut for 3 days, no reason whatsoever. It just should have gotten moved over to a local truck and sent along to New Hampshire, which here would be Manchester, actually, because there's a FedEx place in Manchester. It's at the airport. They could have flown it because they're at the airport. I know this because I drive by it every day. Anyways. Well, not every day, but 5 days a week. Sometimes 6. I bring automatic to work, and we drive right by the end of a runway. So, and I know where the distribution center is. So, it's on the property. West side. So, but yeah, I know the airport very well. When I was flying into there all the time. I was doing my instrument training there all the time and stuff like that. So and I can actually drive right past the end of one of the runways that I actually did my approaches to, and so that's fun. But that's off the track. So it sat down there in Connecticut for 3 days, and then it came up. There was absolutely no reason why it should have been there for 3 days. And then came up the rest of the way. It should have just been pulled off that, the semi, moved on to another semi or whatever, brought up to New Hampshire, thrown into a delivery truck, and brought to me like that. No. So FedEx was either paid to hold it, or because of the shipping payment from Hasbro to FedEx, that it may have had shipping instructions to be like, make it a week. And of course, FedEx held to whatever. So when these get delivered or shipped, the final shipping from Chino to here, I'm totally expecting the same thing to happen. The guy's gonna tear right across the country, get to Connecticut, and drop it for 3 days. At which point, it's in FedEx's possession at that point. What they should do is like, hey, we've got it. Let's get it done. Let's move it. Is that gonna happen? Probably not. At least that's my cynical mind. But we'll see what happens. So when can we see it? Well, Jason happens to think that it's going to be by the end of November, which is playing with Thanksgiving. So there's going to be at least a day that there won't be any deliveries because it's going to be a holiday. Hello. So there's that. And so as far as any other videos go, I have another video coming when I unbox this thing after it arrives. So, and I know exactly how I'm going to be doing it. I've got it all planned out. What I'm going to be doing is it'll be kind of like an unboxing video of sorts, but it's going to be a special setup. I have a 4-foot table that folds, and it's currently behind the screen right off to your right, my left. And it's behind there, and that's where I'm keeping it. And I'm going to bring it out, and I'm going to set it up right here where I'm sitting, this way. So, and then I'm going to take my camera, and I'm going to set up right over there. Take this shot. That way, it's for the lighting from outside. Make sure that I'm well illuminated, and that, the items are well illuminated. So it's going to look good. So that's pretty much it for this video. And we are going to wait for the final shipping and the final delivery. Namely, I already know it's on its way. So in one shape or form. And that is what backers can expect. So there we go. So thank you very much for coming along. And we will be catching you after it gets delivered. So thank you very much. Skál, take it easy. Drink to victory.